Today, I want to talk to you about some angels who had their wings in the right places. I'm going to read you from Isaiah chapter 6, verses 1 and 2, where we read this. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above it stood seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. Isaiah, like others in the Bible who had a vision of heaven, saw God's throne. Isaiah saw the Lord God lifted high. He saw that throne in an exalted and majestic position. The throne set its occupant in a position above everybody else, and Isaiah saw that the train of God's robe filled the temple. You know, kings of that time sometimes wore robes with long trains following behind them because that made it difficult to maneuver and work in. Wearing a long train like that meant I'm important enough that I don't have to work. I'm a person of honor and dignity. Others have to serve me and wait upon me. This tells us that God is honored, important, and dignified. Surrounding God's throne were majestic angelic beings. We read in the text, above it stood seraphim. In many other passages, these angels are known as cherubim, or as living creatures. This is the only chapter in the Bible where these creatures are named seraphim. Now, when we compare some passages like Ezekiel chapter 1 and chapter 10, and then again with Ezekiel chapter 28, we learn that Satan was once one of these high angelic beings. And according to Ezekiel chapter 28, he was depicted in a prominent design of the tabernacle, particularly in the most holy place. The scriptures show us that the tabernacle was in some manner a model of the throne of God. You see, way back in the days of Moses, God gave his people a glimpse of this normally invisible heavenly reality. Now, Isaiah also saw that each of the seraphim had 6 wings. In Revelation chapter 4, verse 8, John also mentioned their 6 wings. And they needed the 6 wings so that they could, as Isaiah mentions, first of all, cover their face. That was to show that they're too lowly to look upon the Lord. And then they needed 2 wings to cover their feet. This is to hide the humble area of the body so that nothing even possibly deficient is seen in the Lord's presence. And then they needed 2 wings to fly and to constantly be ready to serve God. Now, the Lord had said to Moses in Exodus chapter 33, "You cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live." Apparently, this is true even for the angels. So the seraphim, as described in Isaiah chapter 6, they cover their faces. Now, when you think about these seraphim in Isaiah chapter 6, think about the proportion in which they use their wings. They used 4 of their wings to express their humility, covering their face and their feet, and 2 of their wings to express their willingness and ability to serve God. I want to suggest to you, this is the proper balance. Perhaps our prayer should be, Lord, give me wings to worship and give me those wings in proper proportion, with proper humility and reverence before you, Lord God. That's a great prayer for you to pray today.